So all right, let's go ahead and move on down the list. And look, this is I feel for you that have watched us year in and year out, and you feel like this is just a broken record, talking about it again and again and again. But I'm sorry, people. Washington just does not seem to get. We don't seem to go after it. It's just not our. It's not what we're. It's not our focus. I don't know. Yeah, they absolutely do. And look, I know you're saying, "Hey, we got Jamin Davis a couple years back," and it just has not led to what we expected from him. There may or may not have been somebody that said there was going to be a meteoric rise from said player.
It was a small meteor.
It's a small jump, But I mean, you can see that he's kind of starting to get it. And one of the things we've talked about is having that guy in the middle so we can allow him to go off instincts, read and react, and just kind of move to the ball quicker. You mentioned us getting Cody Barton from Seattle. I mean, we'll see. The jury's still out on him because I don't know about you, but I haven't really done any deep dive on him or how he's played. So I'm still up in the air on that. But obviously it's kind of we're all kind of gun shy on picking up a linebacker in the first round.
Right.
But first, third, or like second, maybe late second, if we get another pick in the second, third round, when do we feel like we should go after this position? And how high do we take a potential linebacker?
That's a great question. Or when do they might be also something we keep in mind. I would be surprised if we drafted somebody before the third round, almost to where I kind of think this is going to be a weekend selection. That Thursday and Friday, rounds 1 through 3, will be addressing other positions. Yeah. So that maybe they sneak in round 3 is the pick, but I kind of feel like this is going to be around 4 or 5 type situation.
I like that. And look, we as we've talked about, like, we need somebody that can direct the defense. We need somebody that can come in here and work with Jack Del Rio, work with those guys, call the plays, and give the other players the opportunity to be able to play and, like I mentioned, read and react without having to sit here and think so much about it like Jamin was doing his first year. So I guess my question would be, since we have chosen not to really go and get a big name guy, Wagner was out there, but he's back in Seattle. We didn't go after him for a 1-year deal. We went and got his backup, so that shows kind of where we feel. I mean, do you think we're going to do something right here? Like, I mean, I see some guys, but nobody says first round, second round, third round. Like, nobody says I need to get that guy early.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's also partly because of the way they devalue the position, like you mentioned. I mean, essentially, in their opinion, by signing Cody Barton and having Jamin Davis, they've got their 2 starters. And if everything works out the way they want it to, those are the only 2 that are going to be on the field. Our concern is behind those 2, if injuries happen the way they happen this year, is Kaliki Hudson would be the next guy who they like, but he's also going to, I think, his 4th year. And in 3 seasons, he hasn't been getting on the field for anything other than special teams. They said that he impressed them against Dallas the last game, but finally, is that enough to say that we don't need to draft somebody? And then we've got David Mayo after that. And it's like that. This is the depth that we got to improve. But if they're really mostly saying, well, we got our starters figured out, they may not be valuing these guys the way we are too. And so that's round 4 or 5, they may be like, okay, now it's time to bring in someone. So I say that to say somebody like a Jack Campbell of Iowa, who's a little bit of a bigger guy, may not be someone that they're interested in, because he could go in the 2nd or 3rd round, and they may be like, nope, we're not going after that yet. We have starters. He's a starter. We don't need that. We need depth pieces. They brought in 2 guys already as part of their top 30 visits. One is the guy who was the Senior Bowl star. So this is kind of exciting. Dayon Henley of Washington State. Yeah. He's fast. He's only 232 pounds, so he can move. He's more of a the sideline to sideline type linebacker. And then they brought in a guy from Texas, DeMarvion Overshown as well. So they brought in 2 guys. Oh, that makes you excited.
Oh, yes.
You like that?
That was my guy. This guy used to be a safety. They converted him to playing linebacker. This guy is quick, versatile. If you watch that Alabama versus Texas game, he had a heck of a game in that one, and almost was able to help them prevail, but definitely shut down an Alabama offense with a Heisman finalist in Bryce Young in there. So love what DeMarvion Overshown brings to the table. So yeah, but that's definitely down the line in the pick. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
I like that you recognize him because I don't know who he is, but what I love what you said there. What we've found here is they're looking for guys who can run. They're looking for speed. Yep. They're looking to get these lighter linebackers. It's kind of like, do you remember years ago, Dexter Coakley basically got taken out of the league because he was too small? Like Dexter Coakley would fit this brand of NFL because he could run. Those are the types of linebackers. There's 2 others that could be a little bit further down that I think they could look at. From Auburn, his last name is Popoe. He ran a 4.39 40. Like what? They got then Tulane has a linebacker, Dorian Williams, who ran a 4.49 40. These guys got speed, and Williams is supposed to be a coverage linebacker, which, like we said earlier, that's what we need. So I think you may look at what they're looking for, someone who's in that 230 pounds, someone who can run. A converted safety, like you mentioned, is probably somebody that they're looking at. There's one other guy that I don't know if he'll slide up or down because of this injury. Had he not gotten hurt, he probably would be one of the top linebackers in this draft. He's coming from NC State. Last year was his comeback season. His name is Isaiah Moore. And there's a lot of talk of people comparing him to Jermaine Pratt. And I remember really liking Jermaine Pratt coming out of NC State. And he's with Cincinnati, I believe, right now. So if he's sliding because of, last year was his recovery year from his I think it was a knee injury, that could be somebody that comes in that could really be, you mentioned, the quarterback. This guy can do it. So that may be someone to kind of keep our eye on. I saw him, and there was a lot of praise on folks who were evaluating him. I was like, ooh, maybe he could be one of those 5th or 6th round guys that really makes an impact.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. Look, yeah, DeMarvion Overshown was the guy that I was sitting here hyped about. His size, his speed. I love what he brought to the table. I watched him play, so I love that one. Yvonne Pace Jr. transferred over to Cincinnati. I think he played, I can't remember if he played like UMass or it was one of those like American schools or not even maybe Sun Belt, but he was.
Don't knock the Sun Belt.
No, well, but he was, what I'm saying is that when he was there 2 years ago, he was a conference player, defensive player of the year. Ooh. And then transferred over to Cincinnati. Now he's 5'10", 230. But and he's actually a 4.8 speed, but it's the instinct. He has a powerful lower body, and he can hold up at the point of attack. He's a great run defender. You know what I mean? He's very instinctive. So where he might not have the speed like some of the other guys on there, he's got the know-how. He's got those great football IQ. When we were talking about, we're actually going to bring up linebackers. When we were talking about it, me and Alex, he was talking about his guy, Mike Morris, who's edge and linebacker collectively. He's bigger in 275, 6'5", so which makes it that he's running a 4.9. He's not running very quick, but it's another one of these instinctive guys. Another one of these guys that's very effective getting in the mix, shutting down the run, and then can move around and can diagnose a play. Okay. He can see it when it's coming.
Does that mean he's a David Mayo clone? Or
he's from Michigan, so I'm giving my guy Alex some love right now. That's where we're going. And another guy in here, a guy that I saw up close and personal, out of Appalachian State, Nick Hampton, 6'2", 236. He has speed, for 4.5, and that is what that is. But he can run down the running backs in there, but at the same time can turn around and play coverage. And this goes back to what we were talking about. Playing the backs out of the backfield, the crossing route, the tight end, those type of things. Having somebody that can run with those guys is going to be key. These are all guys that are later, 3rd, 4th round picks, you know what I mean, that could potentially drop even further.
Right.
but they're all guys that are solid contributors that could really make it kind of happen. You said more. You said more out of NC State, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you were saying. His counterpart at linebacker, Drake Thomas, 6'2", under 230 ish, 4.7 speed, but is the brains. You know what I mean? He's one of those that reads, diagrams, tape, trusts his eyes. So when he sees it, he diagnoses it quick and he's ready to go. I mean, the anticipation, knows how to avoid the blockers. Like when we're talking about getting somebody that can allow everybody else to kind of do their thing while he's the CPU. So, he's the nucleus. He's controlling it. That is the type of guy that we want. He has a brother that's a wide receiver. Thayer Thomas, I think it is, at NC State. We can potentially bring him in next year for the double combo. I like them. That's the only positive NC State thing you're going to get from me.
I know.
Wolfpack.
You're right, though. When Maryland played them, they talked about how good the inside linebackers were for NC State. That was like their highlight on defense.
I mean, they started off as a top 10 team and then almost got beat by ECU in the first week. But with Leary going out and getting hurt, that definitely dropped them.